Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us this morning for our latest installment of Solutions for Success. This morning, our topic is Dynamics 365 Sales. We're lucky enough to be joined by Eleanor Boato, one of our solution architects, who's going to give us a quick overview of the sales and lead process, walking us through the workflow and the flow of leads, opportunities, and other great information in CRM. So without further ado, I will turn it over to Eleanor.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Microsoft Dynamics 365. And also referrals from other customers. Opportunity is a qualified lead. So when you create a lead, you can qualify it to create an opportunity. This is where your sales team can discuss the needs of your customer to propose a product or solution. So from the opportunity process, you can create a quote where we specify, or you will specify, the product, pricing, billing information of the customer. My slide's quite slow. So from the order, we can create the invoice. So after the order is fulfilled. So let's have a scenario. A customer named Matthew has been researching companies who wanted to provide the training. He stumbled on your company through browsing through your website, so he would like to contact a sales rep in your company. So the customer need is Matthew's looking for a company to provide an Office 365 training. So as a sales rep, you got this new lead. So what do we do? How to create this in Dynamics 365? So our sales rep will contact Matthew and then discuss all the customer requirements on what they need. So let's launch Dynamics 365. So on this dashboard, you will see sales. Under sales, there's a lead. You can create a new lead. On this new lead, you'll see there's different process: qualify, develop, propose, and close. So let's put in a topic, Microsoft 365 training. So Matthew's a new customer, so we'll put in his new name, Matthew Smith. So he'll get entered. So we have also an option to put in existing contacts. So under qualify process flow, you'll see there is an existing contact. So now, after discussing with Matthew, okay, this training is a much needed option. So the purchase time frame we'll put in as immediate. So after saving the lead, you'll notice that there's new activity created under auto post section of the lead document. Okay. So we know that lead is, we can qualify it to create an opportunity. So to create it, just click on the qualify action on top. So now as it processes it, Dynamics 365 will create a brand new record, opportunity, and you'll notice on the auto post activity, it created Matthew as a new contact within CRM. So let's look at this opportunity document. So we have post assistant activities. So we'll discuss that later, but we'll focus on stakeholders. We entered Matthew as part of the lead contact, and then by default, Matthew is created as a stakeholder. So there's different options for the role as stakeholder. You can be champion, decision maker, economic buyer, and user. So for now, we'll put him as stakeholder. So let's add another contact person on this opportunity. So on this search icon, there's a lookup of all contacts within your CRM. So you can look up a record. So we'll type in John Doe, or Joe is the last name. Select John Doe, select it, and add it. So now John Doe is added on the stakeholder list. And then you can select him as a decision maker. So now we have John Doe and Matthew Smith as part of the stakeholders for this opportunity. Now let's go back to the activities tab. So we added a task called follow-up discussion. This follow-up discussion, we can put in the date and time and then save it. So this activity task is very useful for sales reps. So this relationship assistant is allows users to derive intelligent insights and improve productivity with intelligent notification and reminders in CRM. So just to give you an overview on how this sales insight enabled in CRM, let's go to, this sales insight, that's a card. So we'll go back to settings, sales insight. So under assistant tab, all these tasks and cards can be enabled. So you'll notice task due date, the second at the bottom, is enabled to display as a card. So that's the reason why we have this task due date relationship assistant appears on your dashboard. Okay, so now we have stakeholders. We can identify the sales team who can work on this opportunity. So we'll add one of our sales, John Zeri, to be part of this opportunity. John, and he will be the one doing the training. So we'll put him as industry expert. So we now have competitors and stakeholders. The other thing that we can add, this one is of competitors. So let's add competitors then. So click on the box, the plus sign, and then this will display a quick create competitor. So put in the name of the competitor, XYZ Consulting, and then the website, and click save. So again, it will record the competitor name on your opportunity. So now we have identified stakeholders. We can mark it as complete. We identify the competitors. We can mark it as complete. So the next item now is identifying the product lines. So we had configured training services as a part of the price list. So training services has to be configured on the product catalog within Dynamics 365 setting. So click on training services. So you have an option to write in the product item. So here I put in Office 365 training. As we discussed with the customer, let's say this is $3,000. But then as negotiation goes through, they wanted some discount, so we'll put in a $500 discount. As I tab through the discount, you'll see the reflected amount, $2,500. So now we have the product list. We are ready to create the quote. To create the quote, just click on that add action. It will pop up the quote document. You'll notice, so we'll put in the description that this is the first quote for Matthew, requesting for Microsoft 365 training. You'll notice, so and the quote ID is automatically generated by the system. So we'll put in that this quote is effective for 31 days. We'll put in the billing information for the customer. And then now we're ready to print this quote. So the action print quote can be clicked on, and then a mail merge function will appear. So there are templates that you can use in Dynamics 365. So what you have to do is just map the data fields to your Word template. So when you selected that template, just download it and save it. So you can send it, you can send that quote and discuss it with your customer. So now, when all the quotes and pricing are agreed on, you can activate this quote. You'll notice once the quote is active, you cannot make any changes on the active quote. It will be a read only. The only time that you can revise or make changes on this quote is creating a new revision. So at the top, beside the create order, there's a revised quote. So there will be a new quote ID if you create a brand new quote. So now we had created stakeholders, competitors, the sales team, and then we discussed with the customer all what they need. So from the process flow, the opportunity went through qualify, develop, and we propose a solution and what are the services that we are going to provide. So it's the next stage. So we'll click on the next stage, and then we'll try to close this opportunity. So put in the one, enter the actual revenue and close the date. You will get this error because if an opportunity is tied into a quote and the quote is not closed, there is back-end relationship between two records. So a quote must be closed for you to close an opportunity. So let's go back to the quote. You'll notice that the quote here is still active. So a quote has to be finalized and agreed upon by the customer. So we have to create an order from the quote and send it to the customer. So to create an order from a quote, click on the create order action within the quote record. So all these are defaulted, one, date one, close opportunity, yes, and calculate the revenue. Then click OK. So now what we can do is go back to the opportunity itself and check what will be the status. So these are all the opportunities. You'll notice that the status is set to 1. If we open it up, you'll notice that the workflow from qualify, develop, propose, and the whole process for opportunity is closed. You'll also notice the status is 1. So now everything is fulfilled. So the quote, and now we go to the customer, do the training. Services is now fulfilled. Training is complete. So what do we do after? So we created an order for that particular quote. And then, so what we have to do is open up that order. Okay, this is the order list, Microsoft 365 training for Matthew. So for this, we know after the order is fulfilled, we have to send them an invoice. A customer. So what we have to do is create an invoice from the order. This action will automatically open up the invoice record. So you'll also notice that the product and list items are carried over, the sales information, the order information, the customer information, and the price list, the currency are all carried over. So Microsoft Dynamics 365 has an option to also integrate it again on Word template. So on those 3 dots at the end of a sign, just click on it. There is a Word template action. So Word template, click on invoice. So this is a sample invoice that you can create from Dynamics 365. So you can do some customization, putting your logos, putting more fields if you need. So those are just data mapping exercise. So let's print this off as PDF, send it to our customer. Okay, send it to Matthew. So now invoice is sent. Now payment is received. So we have an outstanding invoice, payments received from the customer, so we can update that invoice document in Dynamics 365. So let's go back to the invoices list summary. So after opening the invoice, you can mark this as paid. You can put the status reason complete and click OK. There you go. So you'll notice that the status is paid and the status complete. So just to summarize, we created leads, and then from leads, we qualify it to create opportunities, and within opportunities, we created stakeholders, sales team, competitors, and within that opportunity, we went through the process flow. We created quote, order, invoices, and all the activities that happens to that opportunity. And then you also notice how relationship assistant is very helpful to make intelligent displaying cards like tasks, calendar, meetings, and all that stuff. That's it for that quick demo for Microsoft 365 sales. Thank you.
So if anybody has any questions, we will wait a few minutes to see if they put those into the chat. Otherwise, thank you very much, Eleanor, for that very insightful presentation. If people do have further questions regarding the sales cycle within Dynamics 365 or any other Microsoft Dynamics CRM questions, please feel free to reach out to anyone at Point Alliance with those questions. So I don't think I see anything coming back from those in attendance. So thank you again, Eleanor, and we will let everyone get back to their day. Thank you very much.